Hi, I'm Karen Hanretty, sitting in today for Chuck Conconi for Focus Washington. And today we're in Houston, Texas at the U.S. headquarters of Vitol Inc., joined by President and CEO Mike Loya. Mike is a leading expert on trading oil, and thanks for joining us today. We're happy to have you here. Tell us about Vitol and what you're doing. It's a global corporation. You run the U.S. headquarters. Tell us what you're doing.
All right. Well, first, it's good to be here. But to tell you about Vitol, first, it's important to understand about the oil markets. The oil markets are global markets, and Vitol Inc. is a part of the Vitol Group. And our role is basically to supply the U.S. Its deficit products and deficit crude. So we import quite a bit of both, and occasionally export from the U.S. as well. So for us, it's to help balance the system in the U.S.
And tell us some of the challenges you're facing right now in the oil industry.
Well, there are many. Some are logistical in terms of just how do you move efficiently a lot of oil in a often dangerous environment. But also we have to deal with volatility. In other words, the oil prices in the past few months or the past couple of years have been very volatile. They've been changing rapidly. So we have to deal with that as well. We have to be able to bring in the products and be able to manage that risk in order to be able to continue to do that in the long run.
And tell us some of the energy areas that Vitol is engaged in right now.
Well, we're mainly an crude oil and oil products company. Of course, we do other things as well. We're doing coal, we're natural gas, we're power, but mainly is oil and oil products.
And you've recently built a terminal in Florida. What are you doing in Florida?
Well, that terminal's in Port Canaveral, which is not too far away from where we launched the rockets. But it's a terminal that's designed to bring in products from around the world into the Florida market. The Florida market does not have any local refineries, so they have to import all their products. And of course, during hurricane season, some of those ports that can bring in the products can be at high risk. And therefore, it could be a very difficult situation for a consumer in Florida. What we're bringing in is another terminal that can diversify their supply and perhaps even enhance their security during hurricane times.
Okay, so you're in Florida, but you're also involved on the other coast, Los Angeles, LAX, big airport. And you know, I think consumers think about, okay, oil and gasoline. I think about filling up my car, filling up my truck. We forget a lot of times that to make the country run requires companies like yours providing oil to airlines. Tell us what you're doing in Los Angeles.
Well, yes, not only do you have to fill up your gas tank, you have to fill up your airplane tank
as well.
So that's what we're doing. We do have a company 100% owned by Vitol, in which what we do is we supply jet to the airlines in LAX. And I believe by right now we have about 20% of the market. And it's just part of what we do. And you mentioned the other coast, but in fact, Vitol, I think, is probably in every coast around the world. We are a company that basically goes from port to port, moving oil and oil products around the world.
This has been fascinating. I know that Vitol is doing a lot of work around the world, here in the United States, to move oil so that we can move consumers, we can keep the economy moving. I hope you'll join us again so that we can discuss more about what Vitol Inc. is doing.
Well, happy to do so anytime.
Thanks a lot, Mike. I'm Karen Hanretty for Focus Washington. Thanks for joining us.